All
Hello,
right.
puppies and kittens. We are. I got an email from somebody who says he wants to talk about the reptiloids or the reptilian aliens from the Sirius star system that have taken over the Illuminati. So let's hear all about that, Brody.
All right. So basically, what happened is we got to look at first, well, we'll just start from the beginning. First, we got to look at the ancient Sumerian text. We have the Anunnaki, right? They came here. The belief is that they came here about 300,000 years ago, 200 to 300,000 years ago, and they interbred with ancient man,
Uh huh.
and it created basically a working class of people that they could use for their goals. They could use them for the pyramids, the sacrifice, and they fed off of the energy of people.
The
Their
energy. How do
state.
you feed off our energy?
Well, it's interesting. They have this thing that they have with the moon, right? The moon is basically, I mean, all the science that tells us about the moon, it's a little iffy. You know what I mean? We got a lot of stuff that science doesn't talk about, right?
Um.
Like
Okay. So
whenever
they feed off our energy because they have a
they
secret
have a
relationship
hollowed
with the
out
moon that they
spacecraft,
don't talk about.
they have a hollowed out spacecraft inside of the moon,
So the
right? And
moon is not hollowed out, the spacecraft is hollowed out and it's
well, it
inside the
could
moon.
be so the belief is
And
that it
how
could
does
be
that enable them? How does that enable them to feed off our energy?
so basically what the moon does is it transmits a false reality, right? And they have whenever people, right? Because we know that our bodies are not eternal, right? But our souls are eternal. So
Except we
what
don't
they
have
do is
souls.
we do have souls, and
No, we don't.
all the science would say that we do have souls.
No,
So
none of the science. None of the science says fuck all about souls. All
okay,
that we
well,
do get is that we don't have them. They're not evident. They're not. There's not even a possibility indicated. But
well,
go
you
ahead
can think
with your
that, but
fantasy story.
you notice that the way that people behave, right? You see
How do
one
the
person.
reptiles feed off human energy?
So reptiles feed off human energy by we see the politicians, right? We could see today we have like the Trump cult. You know what I mean? We have the Donald Trump, the Epstein, and we see all these sacrificial rituals that they do, like in Epstein's Island. We see all these symbols of the
How do the
rituals that,
reptiles feed off our energy?
right. Whenever we have negative energy, I'm about
Wait,
to
you can
say it
have
to you.
negative energy?
Yeah.
How do you measure this energy? Because if you're measuring in negative numbers, I'm curious about that. Is it in calories? Is it in ohms? Is it newtons? How are we candle watts? What type of energy are we? What are we measuring
Mhm.
that we can know that it's negative?
Right. Because if you look at the moon, right, the actual science behind the moon
The
is
actual science behind the moon would be able to tell me whether this is ohms or newtons or watts or calories or horsepower or whatever we're talking about. How
right,
are we
but
measuring the energy?
it's so
I don't have to look at the
technologically
moon to divine the answer to that question, do I?
yeah, well we actually have done studies on the moon, right? There
But
was a
you
time,
also have done studies on this energy to know that it's negative,
yeah,
right?
we've done a lot of studies.
Okay. Then what metric are you using to measure the energy? And don't tell me to go look at the moon. Just tell
Well,
me what is the unit of measure that you're using?
well, it's not really a unit of measure that you can put in a graph. It's something that you'd have
Then
to
how does it
open
go
your eyes
negative?
and see.
How does it go negative?
Well, because you look at all the stuff that's going on today,
Okay, so I
right?
have to
You
go
look
look
at,
at stuff or because you can't answer a question.
well, I did answer the question.
You told me to go look at stuff.
Yeah, because
That
what
doesn't
it,
tell me. Okay, so we have aliens who feed off our energy, and somehow it's negative energy, even though it can't be measured. So it's immeasurable, but we call it energy, even though it's negative, which means it's the opposite of energy, and it's not measurable. But they feed off of it somehow. Are they attaching solar panels or electrodes to us? I mean, are we wired up like in the Matrix? Are we being used as human batteries? Is it our imaginations that run this?
Well,
How do they feed off our
it
energy?
actually is kind of like the Matrix.
Of course it is.
What you said, it is kind of like the Matrix, because what it is with the moon, right? Is it the belief is it was either a spacecraft or it was a hollowed out planetoid. My belief is that it was a hollowed out planetoid that came here hundreds of thousands of years ago. And you look at that ancient mythology, they talk about a time without the moon, right? You
No, they
look at
don't.
what Aristotle says, he talks about the Arcadians not having a moon. You look at the Lulu
Wait. The
myths,
Acadians
they
didn't
say,
have a moon. The Chinese did, but the Acadians didn't. Are there different
well,
moons?
well, the belief is that at one time we didn't have a moon.
Yeah. I
Right.
know there's that you believe there's a belief. I think that's the problem. I think that you have a belief that there's a belief, but most of what you're talking about is not anything that was ever literally believed 100 years ago. It was all
Well,
made up since then.
it's metaphor, but there is a literal.
Ah, so none of this really happened.
It is a no, there's metaphor, but it's literal for something else, right?
So this is
And
like
the
negative,
something else is,
immeasurable energy.
well, it's measurable, but not measurable to humans, right? Because they're so much more technologically advanced than we are, we wouldn't possibly know.
I could just think. I have some British friends, and right now I can hear them in my mind saying, "Are you taking the piss or what?" I thought that we were going to be talking about how people believe in these things, and now I'm getting the impression that you're pretending to believe in these things.
Pretending to.
Yes,
Okay.
because that's all anybody
Well,
can.
can you give me evidence that would prove that it's not true?
Okay, so you're reversing the burden of proof. You've made an assertion that you
Well,
can't defend, and so it is incumbent upon you to provide the
because,
evidence to show that there
well,
is
here's the
truth
thing.
behind the assertion you just made.
Here's
It
the
is not
thing.
incumbent upon me to disprove every hallucinatory fever dream that any drugged out wacko comes up with.
Well, here's the
It
thing.
doesn't, it's
You
not
say,
true just because somebody said so, or worse, there's a belief. Somebody believes this thing happened. No. It's true when you can show the truth of it. You have to produce the evidence, not me.
well,
I
here's
just
the
get to dismiss yours. Hitchens razor. Whatever is asserted without evidence may be dismissed without evidence.
well, here's the thing though. Just because it can't be proven 100%
Can't be
doesn't mean,
evidenced or indicated or in any way implied 0%. How about that?
okay, I can prove it some percent, and then would you say if I
How
could
would you?
speculate, if I could
This is why
speculate
science.
on it
This is why
enough,
science doesn't permit proof. Science considers proof, positive proof, to be absolute, which was
okay,
reserved
but
only for,
well, we talk about,
which is reserved only for mathematics. So science doesn't prove anything itself, not in that capacity, because they don't prove by provision. You can have in colloquial concepts, you can have an overwhelming preponderance of evidence beyond reasonable doubt. We can go there. If you want to take that aspect, but you have to show something first.
all right,
And so far, all we've got is wild stories that we know are not true.
let's talk about the pyramids, right? Some of the
Why can't we
pyramids,
talk about the thing you were talking about? Show me
because
the evidence for
it
any
relates
the
to the
hollowed
thing.
out planet,
It
that
relates to the
the
thing.
energy that can't be measured but somehow goes negative, but they're feeding off of it. And how are they feeding off of it? Well, you can't tell unless you look at the
With a
moon.
soul catcher on the moon. They're catching the souls and they're
Okay, I'm
recycling
done.
it to people.
I'm
Because
done. I tried to humor
if
this
you
as
can,
much as I possibly could, but there is no possible way that you could seriously believe what
but
you're
I
pretending to
say,
believe right now.
but okay,
I mean,
well, let's say I'm entertained.
even in
Let's say I'm
today's
entertaining the
environment,
idea.
where people think that Democrats control the weather through
They
a
do.
barrage
That's
of
proven that they
space
control
lasers.
the weather.
What?
It's proven they control the weather. They have a weather machine. They showed it on the
All right. I'm
BBC.
a registered Democrat. I'm going to go cause a tornado. How do I do it?
See, you're a Democrat, so that means you're part of the system, right?
So how do I
Because
do it?
on one,
I'm a registered Democrat because I have to. In Texas, you can't even vote in the primaries if you're not registered in the two main parties. So I had to I was forced to register as a Democrat. Now that gives me the power to go create a tornado if I want to, right? So tell me how I do that.
maybe you can't do that, but the people with all the
So
control
Democrats
can.
don't have control of the weather. Oh, that right. It's the secret reptiloids. I'm sorry. I'm done.
Well, it's actually been proven. If you want to look at the
Okay, it's
video
actually been proven
evidence,
that
if
you're
you want
full
to
of
look at
shit.
the
Okay,
photographic
we're
evidence.
ending the stream. Good night. This is not what I expected at all. Troll on, Trollio.
Okay, call me a troll.